Hi, students of Hopewell Crest School. I'm Mrs. Rizzo. I'm the school librarian. I teach language and also Spanish. So today I'm going to read to you one of my favorite Christmas stories, which is called Who's That Knocking on Christmas Eve? I'm very excited about reading this story to you. You know, all of you that know me know that I love books, but I really love Christmas books. A tradition in my house was every day in December when my children were younger, I would read a different Christmas story to them every day in December. So I'm happy to be able to read this to you from one of my favorite authors and illustrators, Jan Brett. And here is our title page. Who is that knocking on Christmas Eve? And as I tell the kids, every book has a birthday, and this book's birthday, when it was born, is 2002. This book is 18 years old. High above the Arctic Circle, in the land of ice and snow, the northern lights shimmer in the night like a curtain of color hanging from the sky. The air is so crisp and clear in the northern place that one Christmas Eve, long ago, a boy from Finnmark, on his way to Oslo with his ice bear, could see smoke curling up from the hut far in the distance. He was cold and hungry, so he headed toward it. But far off in another direction, someone else smelled the smoke, and even though he couldn't see it, he raced off to tell the others. And here, what Jan Brett is, she gives us a clue so we see who that someone else was. As the boy from Finnmark made his way toward the hut, Kiri was inside feeding the fire that made the smoke that roasted and baked the fine food. Delicious sausage, fish, tasty buns, and cakes were all laid out on the table. Sweet porridge bubbled over the fire, and apple cider stayed cool on the windowsill. So why did Kiri jump at every creak in the roof? And why did she run to the window when an icicle fell in the snow? It was because in years past, on Christmas Eve, trolls came in when they smelled the delicious aromas coming from the hut. They would pound on the door until it burst open, and they would not leave until they'd eaten every bit of the Christmas meal and made a mess. No trolls this year, Kiri's father said. I'm going up the mountain to watch and chase them away before they can get to us. And so he went to stop the trolls before the trouble could start. So this year, Kiri was alone in the hut, and when she heard a soft sound at the door, knock, 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 it was a polite-sounding knock, not the knock of trolls. So she went to the door and peeked out. There was the boy from Finnmark with his ice bear. Please, can we come inside and warm up? I'm on my way south to show off my bear in the town of Oslo, and I've many frosty miles behind me and many more to go. Yes, you may come in, she said, but I have to warn you. In years past, on this night, we have been invaded by a pack of hungry trolls. Trolls, he said? Well, that would be a welcome adventure. And so he came in, and the ice bear crawled under the warm stove while he fell asleep. So he came in, and the ice bear crawled under the warm stove where he fell asleep. Kiri and the boy had just settled down in front of the fire when they heard a not-so-quiet knock on the door. Pound, 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 pound. No one's home, the boy called out, and he pushed a big chest in front of the door. And when all was quiet and Kiri and the boy were sitting in front of the fire and getting ready to have some porridge. They had just raised their bowls when they heard another pounding at the door. Pound, 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 pound. No one's home, the boys said, and they quickly locked all of the windows. It was quiet again, but those delicious smells were too much for the trolls. They heard a pound, pound, pound again, and this time the hut shook, a loud crack, and the cellar door popped open. Those trolls had got underneath the house and come up, and Carrie and the boy ran to the animal shed and hid while the trolls came into the house. And the trolls were everywhere. And there was bug-nosed trolls. There were bat-eared trolls. The trolls were wilder and crazier than ever. They munched, they grunted, they shrieked, they cackled, they splashed, they crammed Christmas cakes into their mouth. And when they were through stuffing themselves, they tumbled about, they pinched each other, they stamped on each other's toes, they tweaked each other's nose, because that is how trolls have a good time. But through it all, the littlest troll spied the ice bear under the stove, and he got a hot morsel of sausage on a stick, and he put it in the fire, and he said, "Hey, kitty, kitty, do you want some sausage?" And he poked the sleeping bear on his nose with the hot sausage. Well, the bear jumped up and shrieked and chased those trolls all around the house, over the table, up the walls, and through the doors. "Scratch 'em, kitty!" yelled the boy. And Carrie and the boy cheered while they watched the trolls scramble through the ice and snow, howling down the mountain. Now Carrie's father could hear the shouts, and he started skiing toward their house. And he saw that the trolls were running away from the hut. "Goodbye, trolls," he shouted as he went back to the house. "Oh, what a fine bear you have," he told the boy from Finnmark. "Thank you so much for scaring away the pesky trolls. You must come back next year for a real Christmas Eve feast on your way home from Oslo." And they sat down to have some porridge. And so the next year, on Christmas Eve, when Carrie was on the mountain gathering wood for the fire, the littlest troll popped his head behind a snowbank. "Hey, Missy," he said, "do you still have that big kitty cat that sleeps under the stove?" "Why, yes, we do," said Carrie, "only she's a big grown cat now, and she has 7 kittens, and they're larger and meaner than she is." "Ah!" said the littlest troll, "we won't be coming to your house for Christmas Eve ever again." And he disappeared, and they never saw the trolls again. And that is the end of Who's That Knocking at Christmas Eve by Jan Brett. Merry Christmas, Hopewell Crest students and your family.